Hopefully they come on.
Chris Colt is here.
Smith, welcome. Do you want to unmute yourself and tell us a little about yourself? You're one of the new people.
Jadiv.
How you doing? My name is Jason Smith, and I go by the poet David Patrick.
All right, David Patrick. Good name.
Thank you very much, madam.
I'm having my dinner. It's cold, so I made some great soup.
Well, Jason, tell us a little about yourself. What are your influences?
Well, my influences are, of course, Mr. Seamus Heaney.
There you go.
James Joyce as well.
Mm.
Okay.
Are you from Ireland? You have a brogue. No?
I am indeed, yes.
What part?
I'm just between the north and south in a little town called
What's the town?
sorry, the town is called Newry.
Newry, yeah. Of course.
Oh,
Very good.
Newry, okay.
And Tom Louie, do you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Jadiv. Yes, Misha Tom Louie. My name doesn't sound Irish because that's from the Chinese side. It means, well, it means thunder. So you can call me Tomashin Tornyak if you like. I brought a poem by Bobby Sands. I bought it in Belfast. Not sure if I bought it at the Cultureland or the Republican Museum. Probably the Cultureland.
Very good.
Caherdan Angle. Isa Caherdan Angle me, Los Angeles.
Very good. Greg, you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Oi, my name is Greg. I'm a little traveller lad. My people are from Galway and Derry. So I've been about. My father is a sailor. My mother ran off with him, so here I am.
Why not?
Aye.
Chris Colt, I heard that name before.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Oh, there's Chris.
My
Yeah.
mom, Brenda.
Oh, Chris and Brenda, very good. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, you got the whole family here tonight.
Great.
Hey, and Mom and I, we write songs together, but tonight she'll be doing pure poetry.
Very good.
Great.
Looking forward to
Happy
it.
to be here.
Glad to join you.
Nice song last night, Chris.
Oh, thank you. That was so much fun. You guys did such a good job.
Yeah.
Made me homesick. Made me want to be in California so bad with y'all.
Oh, I missed the Celtic Arts Center. Yeah. Is it on the YouTube?
It'll be on our YouTube channel.
Very good. I'll check it out.
Nicely done yourself. It was you guys. You did amazing. The limerick and the band and everything was great.
Thank you. Good amount.
Krista, you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Who?
Oh, you're muted.
Huh?
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm no makeup on, so I'm hiding. I'm a Celtic folk singer, and so I love doing the songs that are ancient, truly, truly ancient. But with Mom, we write original songs written in the style of the ancients. So I've been doing a lot of like Ren fairs and that kind of thing, and Irish fairs and Scottish fairs. But now I've gotten all into wearing period costume and kind of time traveling a little bit. And I feel so lucky because this one here is the poet. I write the hooks.
I'm blind, that's why I have on my sunglasses.
So mom's been a writer and her singer her entire life. And yeah, so anyway, that's it. That's us.
Very good. Tressa, you want to tell us a bit about yourself? You still there, Tressa?
Hi.
Oh, yeah. Who are you talking to?
Teresa or Tressa?
Tressa.
Tressa. Okay. Yes. Hi, I'm Tressa. Great to be here. So I'm a bit of a cultural tourist. My greats are from County Cork, and on my mother's side, on my dad's side, we're Ashkenazi from Eastern Europe. So that's my cultural mix. A writer and a poet, member of the Ventura. What do we call them? We call ourselves a Ventura poetry group. So I might share a bit tonight. We'll see how we go, but I'm just happy to be here. I know John and Sally from the community here. So blessed to know you and be here.
Very good. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Jim,
Yes, sir.
what's up with you?
Well, I publish the Irish Arts and Entertainment, and you've agreed this time to have your Irish poetry, Irish Club poetry session be part of a live stream we're doing tomorrow night called Alone Together. So you can find it on our Facebook page. You'll see yourselves on it. But I want to say something about two of the people that are on here because they're both way too modest. Greg Patrick is an amazing writer. He's a frequent contributor to our paper, the Irish Arts and Entertainment. And he's a really interesting writer, and he takes you on a journey. I love reading his stuff. And Chris and Brenda are two of the nicest people I know. They're both extraordinarily talented writers. They actually wrote a play with Chris's dad, Arthur. They authored a play and self-produced it a few years back. As an Irish theme, it's called, Has Anyone Seen Mary? Is that right, Chris?
Yes, sir.
And if any of us ever hit the lottery, we should go produce this and put it at the Pantages because it's truly brilliant. Brenda and Arthur and I went to the same college at the same time, but we didn't know each other. And Brenda used to sing for the Houston Grand Opera. So they are a multi-talented group. Both the Brenda, Arthur, and Chris and Greg Patrick. It's a nice to see them.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Teresa Donegan, would you like to say something about yourself?
Well, hi. Yeah, I've lived here in Ventura a long time. I'm a retired nurse and stay busy volunteering with Corbett. And I've just had a text. Somebody's trying to get into your website, Debbie.
Yeah, she's in on the phone. I did send her all the links again, so hopefully she can figure it out, or her phone will get her in at least audio. It's only so much-
If I get off, I'll be able to get back in, I hope, if I help her get on.
Should be all right. Yeah, here she's coming in now. I think she's sorted.
Oh, she is. Okay. All right.
Very good. Let's get started. Here's what I suggest, since we got so many people that want to share tonight. There's like 10 people said they had poems to share. Usually we have about half that. So let's just do one poem and do a round. And if we have time, then you could do a second one rather than risk somebody being left out. And I'd like to do it in the order that people logged in because I think it's only fair. And I think the first one in, after me and Jim, that are kind of like the hosts, was Greg Patrick. I think you were about one of the first.
Well, I know.
We'll start with you. Is that okay?
That's grand, yeah. What's the time considerations?
Well, we want to get it 10 people in an hour, so we can't go too.
Oh, well, I'll cut myself off naturally, yeah. All right. I'll read from my Spancel Hill.
Very good.
How can I stand the rain? It was asked by one on holiday. Never thought of it before. We hold out in the rain, in vigil, like the sleepless artist for the elusive muse, as if for the promise of the return of a princess from the mists of legend to a land with an empty throne at its heart. We hold out in the rain, the way one busker on the street, alone of shoppers and rivals, who scurry for the shelter for the rain, oblivious to its cold, soulless in homage to things money can't buy. We hold out for the moment when radiance re-enters the empty hall where shadows dance to haunted songs of voiceless bards. We hold out for the rain in foreign lands where we are strangers, our only party on St. Patrick's Day, standing as a man can be an island, one with song at its soul and rebellion at its heart, before turning and beckoned away, unseen by the cold whisper of night, away from the caricatured mockery of a rebel saint, to the intoxication of the rain itself. The stars are not seen, not rain, not the rain of home, but the city lights obscure the traveler beacon of the stars, eyes closed in silent dream, noises of reverie, fading to a voiceless murmur, eyes open to the announcement in the rugged voice, Aer Lingus landing shortly. Eyes mirror the green Ithaca below, in solitary majesty. The rain falls as I step out from Shannon and homecoming, cleansingly, anointingly, hailed as if Lord of snow and rain, standing enraptured. Shockingly cold to one long away in foreign lands, the collection of old scars pulse in the cold, eyes reopen like old wounds, welling, blinded in the awaited moment of the sun's return, like the bard of the street in helpless silence, waiting for the muse, the elusive muse, holding out for the room to be relit again by the radiance of one envisioned spirit. Room lit up at her entrance, the way the sun breaking through the clouds that cast in a land in shadow, as if by the flourish of a Kel's scribe's hand to illuminated manuscripts, lights, the hills in Valhallan splendor, the towers, the abbeys and castles are lit in brilliance like earthbound heaven that rebels of the heart will die for. We hold out in a rain that extinguishes fires, in bombing's aftermath and exorcises ghosts, seanced by sleepless walks after loss. Rain that runs like heaven shed tears down the mural portraits of urban war zones, riveting through the imperfections in the walls, as if the painted faces wept like mimes crying for the words they can no longer utter, yet bearing witness to the pain left around them. Tears that mingle with the rain as if they fall and are the one with the green hills. We hold out in the rain like the last mourner to leave the burial of a rebel chieftain, needing a moment alone to confide to the shadows. I stand the rain, pausing as I hear the song of a girl at the tavern, singing the songs that seance rebel ghosts from the ashes of time, red lips like old wounds reopening with every new song. A memory like a ghost haunting with each song, like a place along the way home, haunted by the memories and duet with echoes, intruding like Banquo's ghost at the feast. A doppelganger and you standing there, waiting for a train or laughing. We hold out in the rain because it's our breath in the rain answering the question, because I'm home.
Wow, very good.
Nice. Thanks, Greg.
It's good.
Spancel Hill, huh? So that's like coming to California kind of a thing?
Hey.
Thought so. Hey, why don't we let Chris Colt's mother in now in case she has some kind of time restraint.
Go for it, Mom.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Brenda Thomas, and I want to tell you a story about an Irish fireman. I'll tell you a story about an Irish fireman, and the name of the poem is The Fireman's Song. Michael Murphy was everything a mother's son should be, and then some. This bold and valiant gentle giant was the best a lad could become. With a heart of gold, quick silver smile, an arm of tempered steel with laughing emerald Irish eyes, so full of life, so real. His one ambition had always been, for as long as he had known, to be a fireman like his dad as soon as he was grown. And he had done the very thing that was ever in his plan and joined that brave fraternity, the pride of all the land. Now, way back there in the early days, when everything was new, he took his turn in a simple save that meant more than he knew. High up in an old oak tree, a small gray kitten clung in peril to a flimsy branch, the very furthest rung. He cried and mewed and cried, for all his tiny heart was worth, until a grinning rookie came and plucked him back to earth. From that day forth, forevermore, Old Smoky was his name, and being station mascot, soon became his claim to fame. He grew into a handsome Tom, which made the lads all proud, but his devotion to just one was legend in the crowd. Michael Murphy's Shadow became his other name, and every step the fireman took, he would take the same. Now, on this St. Patrick's night, the lads sat round the table there to pass the time away, when someone shuffled up a deck and they began to play. Had been a peaceful, quiet shift without a single call, but as the friendly game ran late, the alarm rang off the wall. No hesitation, no delay for their practice planned attack. Grabbed bucker suits, helmets, and gear from off the station rack. And across the boards, where they had been, were the last cards to be played, where had been spread aces and eights, their Hickok's hand still laid. Once again, these brave comrades was up and told the scratch, and together saved the whole wild world from some insidious match. Hours on the station clock went round, but they did not return, and stretched out there in calm repose, the cat dozed unconcerned. By and by, the bell was heard as Engine 9 rolled in, with grief-stricken, sunny faces all, except for Smokey's friend. Now, how do you tell a small gray cat your buddy's gone to stay? After all, he's just a cat and you'll forget him anyway. But Smokey never did forget. He just waited patient there until his 9 lives were all used up and they found him by Mike's chair. In later years, when the guys were out, those left did all concur. A whisper rattled around the neck, a low laugh and a purr, and oft times a strange sensation would whistle in the ear as the haunting frames of Danny Boy came from somewhere very near. Now, nobody ever really knew what happened in the end, except that an honest hero fell, a brother and a friend. Yes, Captain Michael Murphy was all a man.
Uh-oh. Somehow you got muted. Wait, we got to go back. Sorry, Brenda.
Okay.
Let's see, where did it get cut off? She was saying, who remembers?
Captain
After Danny Boy,
Oh, yeah,
station
Danny.
master, yeah.
Can you go back to the Danny Boy part, Mom?
No, nobody ever really, and but Smokey never did forget. He just waited patient there until his 9 lives were all used up and they found him by Mike's chair. In later years, when the squad was out, those left did all concur, heard the whispered shuffling of a deck, a low laugh and a purr, and oft times a strange sensation would whistle round the ear as the haunting strains of Danny Boy came from somewhere very near. Now, nobody ever really knew what happened in the end, except that an honest hero fell, a brother and a friend. Yes, Captain Michael Murphy was all a man should be and then some. This bold and valiant, gentle Irish knight was the best a lad could become. He was a fireman, God bless him, and a little gray cat's best friend. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. It's you must go and I must buy.
Meow. Mom wrote that one.
Thank you,
Oh
Brenda.
my God, that was amazing.
Thank you.
And so sad, so
It
sad
reminded me of
too.
Martino Kogan's delivery, the way he said it, tongue in cheek.
Also, I
And
just
the
wanted
cat
to
just, yeah.
I just wanted to notice that as she was talking about the cat going to the chair, did everybody notice the cat in the
Yes.
background coming out
Oh,
of
yeah.
the chair?
We have 4 cats.
I know.
Ah,
They're
too.
all
perfect.
rescues, all rescues.
Aw, so gorgeous.
funny.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Unforgettable.
Thank
I'll
you.
never forget.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
really looking forward to hearing from Jason Smith.
Yes, I'm here.
Would you like to do something for us?
Of course, yes. I've written this poem. It's called A Countryside Walk. And basically, the way I write poetry is I just look at anything visual. So obviously this here one is from a walk I've done in the countryside. So I hope you don't mind. As I walk round the city, up Courtney Hill, into the Ballyholden countryside, the scenery changes, the noises subside. Rolling green fields stretch out beyond, going for miles like giant lawns. Walking along, increasing my pace, feeling the warm, gentle sunshine on my face, the summer breeze and its gentle embrace. Rounding a corner, I pass by a fountain. Far in the distance rise the Cologne mountains. Picking up pace, I pass through the village. Farmers and tractors cut and collect the silage. Passing football pitches and nearing Mass Rock, the sturdy walls made out of thick granite block. Taking a corner at Old Commons Way, I certainly have picked such a beautiful day. Climbing the hill and enjoying the walk, stillness of the countryside and hearing no talk. Feeling the gentle wind blow through the leaves of a tree. Not long to go until I see my Newry city. At the top of the hill, I look around, nothing to be seen, not even a single sound. Making my way past houses so old, I look around at the beautiful scenery unfold. Walking a road, watching it shimmer, I get to a clearing and gaze at the sun-dappled glow of a canal and river. Passing St. Mary's on my right, the proud Camlin Mountains towering over Newry at a gentle height. Going down Chapel Street, I know I am near my journey's end and a rest for me. Getting to the house, I look around, taking in the subtle sights and sounds. And that's it.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I felt
Thank
like
you very much.
I felt like I
What a
was on a walk with you.
Yes, I have been told that a lot, in fact.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's good fun.
Well,
Teresa,
thank you
Donna,
very much.
got something ready for us. Me old Shigosha.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. As you all know, Ireland's had some of the greatest poets and writers in the world. And my favorite is, what's his name? W.B. Yeats. And I'd like to read this ballad of Father Gilligan. The old priest, Peter Gilligan, was weary night and day, for half his flock were in their bed or under grey sods, green sods lay. Once, while he nodded on a chair at the moth hour of eve, another poor man sent for him, and he began to grieve. I have no rest, nor joy, nor peace, for people die and die. After he cried, God forgive, my body spoke, not I. He knelt and leaning on the chair, he prayed and fell asleep. And the moth hour went into the fields and stars began to peep. They slowly into millions grew and leaves shook in the wind. And God covered the world with shade and whispered to mankind upon the time of sorrow chip, when the months came once more, the old priest Peter Gilligan stood upright on the floor. Maborn, the man has died while I slept on the chair. He roused his horse out of its sleep and rode with little care. He rode now as he never rode by rocky lane and fern. The sick man's wife opened the door. Father, you come again. And the poor man's dead, he cried. He died an hour ago. The old priest, Peter Gilligan, in grief swayed to and fro. When you were gone, he turned and died as merry as a bird. The old priest, Peter Gilligan, he knelt him at his word. There's just one more here. He who had made the night of stars for souls who tire and bleed, sent one of his great angels down to help me in my need. He who wrapped in purple robes, when planets in his care, with planets in his care, had pity on the least of things, asleep upon a chair. W.B. Yeats.
Huh. I'd never heard that one
I
before.
never heard that either. Wow.
We used to have to recite it in school, recite it without looking at the book, but that was
What's
a
that one
while
called
ago.
again?
What's that?
That one called again?
Poem? It's called the Ballad of Father Gilligan, W.B. Yeats.
Very interesting. I think I'm going to do a Yeats poem too.
There's my favorite is the Lake Isle of Innisfree. And I went there one year when I was back visiting the kin. It was just so beautiful place to go. I just wanted to swim out there and get on that little island and just live alone in the bee loud glade.
Very good. I'm really anxious to hear from Tom Louie. You said you have a Bobby Sands poem. How exciting.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. So this is Prison Poems by Bobby Sands. As I said, I got in Belfast. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think that this is the 40th anniversary year and maybe even the month when Bobby Sands passed. I think it was.
Oh, he died on May 5th, but
That's,
Birthday.
he's on his strike now.
he's on day 15 right now.
Yeah, it lasted a long time. I didn't know anybody could last that long, but so this is from page 75, and it's untitled, but in this one he dares to imagine what would happen to his jailers eventually. Okay. Well, was I a happy soul, for the good Lord had forgiven all. I was just about to collect my wings when I heard Roy get his call. Mason? Lord, said Peter, I think you know him well. And by the color of that soul of his, he's plenty there to tell. Peace be with you, Roy, said the Lord. Have you anything to confess? Lord, said Roy, you must believe me. 'Twas Cromwell made that mess. And Merlin Rees and Whitelaw, they led me far astray. Lord, what else could I do down there? I could find no other way. And what about those H blocks, Roy, and all those naked men you kept? Don't you know, said the Lord, I watched them, and every night they wept. Roy, you tortured them, and you held them all those years, naked and suffering. They wept a million tears. What is to be done, said Peter. My Lord, you must contrive. Poetic justice, Peter, said the Lord. Send him down to H Block 5.
Very good. I like that one. Yeah, that's interesting. Teresa, you look like you're ready to go.
I do. Oh, okay. That's just my everyday look, ready to go. I've actually got a prose piece. It's kind of a prose poem. It's a travelogue. So I'm just going to read the beginning of it. That's called Belfast Through a Rearview Mirror, or A Week of Sundays. Sunday in Belfast, waking up under an Irish sky, not at all like Clare, where craggy paths lead to pre-Christian matriarchal burial sites, restful places presided over by blue-black ravens and their brethren flock. In Clare, sheep dot the rocky bogs, their purple brands like cabbage heads in a patch of distant green. The cities of the north are not the Western Gale. No soft-spoken names that whisper across the Atlantic, the hushed sounds of Ennis and Shannon. Derry is no Ballyvaughan in the Burren. In Belfast, it is brick and mortar, sweat and blood. Article 2 of the Good Friday Agreement. It is the entitlement and birthright of every person born in the island of Ireland, which includes its islands and seas, to be part of the Irish nation. Furthermore, the Irish nation cherishes its special affinity with people of Irish ancestry living abroad who share its cultural identity and heritage. A peace line covers the mark of the martyrs. This is the opposite of marking sheep. There is a stillness that is almost too quiet, the possibility of the return of the repressed, safer than New York City, says a former native son, when keen blur of memory gathers the body of the past to its chest. I arrive in the soft Irish rain to Divis Tower, a former military occupation, to meet my Sinn Féin guide who will take me for a walking tour of the Troubles. At least that's what my festival brochure says. I am curious and intrigued to see how the Troubles, or the war, are told through the cautious language of the ones who saw with their own eyes, gave of their own lives. Call it what you will, the Troubles, the conflict, the war, the invasion, the terror, the truth, and now the peace. When my guide fails to show and the few scraggly tourists scatter, I consider taking a black taxi tour or go into the West with taxi tracks through which I could, quote, journey up the Falls Road to discover the political, historical, cultural, landmark, and environmental background of West Belfast Irish Catholic. So says Taxi Tracks. From there, I could take an additional tour of Republican graves. But something strikes in me that this is all too soon. This turning of Kieran Carson's Belfast confetti, he wrote. Suddenly, as the riot squad moved in, it was raining exclamation points, nuts, bolts, nails, car keys, a fount of broken type, and the explosion itself, an asterisk on the map. And all of these now a rain of taxi receipts, tourist dollars, and photo montage torn from the context of the walls is a carnival ride around the struggle of memory to situate itself into the body. A burlesque stripping of the pain like window glass cut into the artery of the city, marking territory, directing the flow of history as told by a taxi driver to his backseat passenger, looking back over his shoulder, just passing through.
Wow, very interesting.
That was interesting.
What year was that when you were up there, Teresa?
Actually, this, because I took out a whole chunk of it that talks about it, and also because I cannot pronounce the Irish and I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of all you good-rooted people. I'm looking to see, because it was a year of a festival. I think it was 2009. some of you may know that festival I'm talking about. It happens annually in Belfast.
In the summer, August.
Yeah, most likely.
Phelanophoble. Yeah, I've been to
That
that.
one.
Good
How's
place.
it pronounced?
Phelanophoble.
Yes, yes. The anniversary of West Belfast celebration of itself. That's what I say.
The People's Festival.
Yeah.
Great
So
history to it. And 1988 was like a really bloody year with the Gibraltar guys and the funerals and all this stuff. And the newspapers were calling the people of West Belfast savages. So a group of them got together and said, no, we're, talented, artsy people. So they put on a big concert and an art fair, and it grew and grew and grew, and it became one of the biggest festivals in Europe now.
I know, I was so honored to be invited. So I'm actually an art writer, so I was kind of documenting the festival. So this was part of it. So thank you for letting me share that. I've never read it out loud, let alone to a group of Irish poets and writers. So phew, thank you.
Very good. Yeah, it was enjoyable. Wow. Mr. McDonough,
Very, very nice.
you have your poem ready? Jim writes his own poetry too.
I do. Let's see. I got to figure out how to go get it though. Why don't you get somebody else on?
Okay. Let's see. Leslie, do you have something for us?
Actually don't this evening. Forgive me. I came to listen and I
That's fine. No pressure.
enjoyed it immensely. So hello to all. Thank you.
No problem. Let's see who do we have. Debbie, I'm glad you made it on. I'm sorry it took so long. Sometimes it just is that way. You got to log in and out till it catches. I don't know.
It's okay. I can read a poem that my dad wrote.
Sure.
And actually, it's really symbolic because he wrote it when my great aunt was in a nursing home in a newspaper called The Outside Looking In. And it's quite poignant because my dad died suddenly in 92. And before he died, he couldn't talk. And my girlfriend, Maureen Callahan, she brought my dad's poem for me to read to him while he was still alive. So it's this, I'll read it to you.
Very nice.
I'm sorry, here it is. And my dad's name is David Tigel. An act of love need never be a gesture bold or grand. A simple smile is all you need to show you understand. Just being there to show you care transcends the spoken word. No eloquence can ever match a touch which can't be heard. I think the sweetest joys of life are those more felt than seen when love is given from the heart with nothing in between. We must not wait to show our love for those whom we hold dear. The gift of life is not assured beyond the moment here. So do not let this moment pass. It must not slip away, but nurture it with all your love to bloom anew each day.
That's very nice.
Lovely.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you. That was nice.
Thanks.
Are you ready yet, Jim?
Yeah, I found it. I wrote this. It's called Tempus Futile. Relentless marching forever, enshrined by the Romans as it flew by, envied and wasted till the moment we die. Elusive and impossible to hold to each task, Not one among us can tell just how long ours will last. Our time is one item we share as one all, our friend and our foe as onward we go. At fate we test, daily we jest, we scoff and we cower, but scarce grasp its power. Delightful when well spent, but sadly oft hell-bent. Choose love, limit strife with our companion for life.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thanks. I never read that.
Wow. Miss Helen O'Neill, do you have something for us?
Wait, I'm just a listener.
Just a
Yeah,
pat.
I don't do poetry. I do photography. So, but yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Same to you. I
Free,
think
you know.
I just gave you an
St.
idea for a
Patrick's
show,
Week,
John.
that's what I call it.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the poems are lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or readings. I guess Tessa, yours is a reading.
I guess I'm the
Lovely.
last one. I picked a W.B. Yeats poem that I've been doing for a long time, and it's funny that I heard Christy Moore sing it, and then all of a sudden I can't get it out of my head. And then I just read something the other day that when Yeats wrote it, he thought it seemed like it was a ballad to him as he was writing this poem.
It's a ballad. The ballad of Father Gilligan.
It could work. It could work either way. But this was from Yeats' Celtic Twilight period when he was into back to nature and the mysticism and this, stargazing and the moon and the sun and all that kind of stuff and nature and
He's an interesting guy. Certainly.
He was big into the Celtic revival. If you know, like about the Abbey Theatre, and the writing was on the wall that Ireland was going to get its independence. So the guys like the writers and artists were trying to bring back the old Irish culture and folklore, bring it to people's consciousness. Because after hundreds of years of colonialization, they lost their old culture. So the artists and the writers were bringing it back, with the Abbey Theatre and Kathleen the Houlihan and all that kind of stuff. And Yeats was pretty much the leader of that movement. So this one is the Song of the Wandering Aengus. And I think I'll do the ballad version because it works better for me now after I used to.
Can you sing it?
Sorry?
Can you sing it? The ballad?
It's a bit of a walking song. It's not like a real hardcore, but it goes, I went down to the hazel wood because a fire was in my head. I plucked and peeled the hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the glen and moth-flecked stars came shimmering out, I put the berry in the stream and I took the little silver trout. And as I laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, and something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossoms in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded in the brightening air. And now I'm old with wandering through hollowed lands and hilly lands. I will find out where she has gone and kiss her lips and hold her hand, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon and the golden apples of the sun.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
Very good.
Ballad version.
Very nice, John.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
What I have ready for us, since Sally couldn't actually attend, I have. Can you see her? Did I do it right? No, I'll try again. I got to share my desktop share. Let's see. You see her now?
Yep.
There
There
she
she is.
Short little Yeats poem that I love. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths, enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue, the dim and the dark cloths of night and light and the half light, I would spread the cloths under your feet, but I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly now, because you tread on my dream. Of Living Yeats. Thank you.
Good.
So even though Sally couldn't stay up, I did a quick clip of one of her previous contributions. So great. We've used up almost our whole hour, but we could go on. Should we just go ask for volunteers? Does anybody have a burning desire to squeeze one in? Teresa?
Well, it's not a poem, but I text my nephew in Northern Ireland. I was interested in what was going on with the unification process. He's never got back with me. Will there ever be a united Ireland so I can go over there and celebrate what's going on with that? Does anyone have family in Northern Ireland still? Do you know, John?
Should know that.
There's a there is a push on right now because of Brexit, and actually they're doing a census right now in Northern Ireland, and with the Brexit turmoil, that there is a drive on to have a referendum border poll, and but it's very complicated, it's very messy, but there's a lot of people behind it now, so that could possibly happen. I don't know which way the vote would go, but there might be a vote on that.
I thought they had enough votes some time ago.
No, not yet. But like I said, they're doing a census this month, and that will tell us more.
Okay, well, let's keep our fingers crossed that young people here are protesting everything. I'm not sure why the young people over there are not out there every day protesting to be united. We're just a small little country, and it just
Right.
if I was over there, I'd probably be locked up and it starved me like Bobby Sands.
I wanted to mention something about Bobby Sands. What made him so unique was that he got elected while he was on hunger strike. A member of parliament died, and he got elected, and that shocked everybody because the British propaganda was that the IRA had no support, and here he got elected, got 30,000 votes, got more votes than Thatcher got. And then when he had his funeral, 100,000 people showed up for it, and that really changed. That was a game changer. There was also 9 other guys who died after him, and some of them got elected as well down in the Southern Parliament. But also he was a great poet. I mean, the famous one he has is the Rhythm of Time. That's a great one. And he was a real bard. He was a singer and a writer and a poet. And it's interesting that the hunger strike, it's an old bardic tradition that if you're wronged, that you would sit in front of usually it's like the nobleman's house or gate and starve yourself to death to try to embarrass him until you get your wrong righted. And in the modern manifestation, it was the suffragettes who were using it before the IRA did back in the early 1900s. They went on hunger strikes to get the vote. It was the women that brought it back into modern history.
John, would you like to hear the Rhythm of Time, or is it
Yes.
somebody else's turn?
Yes, please. I wish I had thought of it.
Okay, it's actually very close. Well, it's actually the last one of the book. Okay.
Yes.
That's
It was
when
40 It's the 40-year anniversary. 40 years.
And writing that song "Back Home in Derry," everybody sings that now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay, I'm sorry if this is displacing someone else's turn.
go
The
ahead.
Rhythm of Time.
We could keep going. We don't have to stop. It's just.
Okay. There's an inner thing in every man. Do you know this thing, my friend? It has withstood the blows of 1,000,000 years and will do so to the end. It was born when time did not exist, and it grew up out of life. It cut down evil's strangling vines like a slashing, searing knife. It lit fires when fires were not, and burnt the mind of man, tempering leaden hearts to steel from the time that time began. It wept by the waters of Babylon, and when all men were lost, it screeched in writhing agony, and hung bleeding from the cross. It died in Rome by lion and sword, and in defiant cruel array, when the deathly word was Spartacus along the Appian Way. It marched with Wat the Tyler's poor, and frightened lord and king, and it was emblazoned in their deathly stare as e'er a living thing. It smiled in holy innocence before conquistadors of old, so meek and tame and unaware of the deathly power of gold. It burst forth through pitiful Paris streets, and stormed the old Bastille, and marched upon the serpent's head, and crushed it 'neath its heel. It died in blood on buffalo plains, and starved by moons of rain. Its heart was buried in wounded knee, but it will come to rise again. It screamed aloud by Kerry Lakes, as it was knelt upon the ground, and it died in great defiance as they coldly shot it down. It is found in every light of hope. It knows no bounds nor space. It has risen in red and black and white. It is there in every race. It lies in the hearts of heroes dead. It screams in tyrants' eyes. It has reached the peak of mountains high. It comes searing across the skies. It lights the dark of this prison cell. It thunders forth its might. It is the undauntable thought, my friend. The thought that says, I'm right.
Yeah, that's
an amazing one. So much history in that. Covers all that. So somebody else want to go again?
Actually, John, I have a real short one.
Sure.
And Bobby Sands just reminded me of it again. Because if ever there was a light, he was a light. And this is about light. It's called Light. And it's by a woman educator and advocate who I actually recently read about. And she's really, really interesting. Her name is L.R. Nost. Anyway, here it is. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very inspirational.
I think especially in these times of this pandemic, it's important that we all reach out to each other.
I would love to have a copy of that poem.
Oh, I'll email you one.
Okay, thank you.
Who was the author again?
Pardon?
Who wrote
Who
that?
was, yeah, who,
Her
author,
name
who
is
was the author?
L.R. Nost, K-N-O-S-T. She has a Facebook page.
Hmm.
She's just an educator and advocate for the
Ah.
downtrodden and children, and quite an admirable lady.
Very good. Jason, do you have something more for us?
Yes, I just have
What?
I have one more before I go to bed here. Hope you don't
Oh,
mind.
yeah, you're up late.
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. here in England at the minute,
Wow.
and I have to get up at 5 a.m. for work.
Yikes.
Ah,
Yes, but I couldn't miss this here. I really could not miss this here.
Wow.
That's nice.
You could be here.
Oh, of course, without a shadow of a doubt.
Where are you?
I'm actually living in England at the minute.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Wow.
You're very welcome. And this is one that's really apt to me. If any of you's ever seen the full moon, I always call it the celestial spotlight. I know it sounds kind of corny, but I'll just read it and tell me what you think. I lie on my back and look up at the sky, the glittering stars suspended way up so high. Away from the city, lit up for the night, I can see clearly a lot more stars without excessive light. I feel the cool, damp embrace of the grass as I lay here looking at the stars as they pass. I find it so peaceful looking at the night sky. If more people would do this, they would understand why. Trying to find the different constellations, I check my phone for the information. I can see why the stars delight, especially on this wonderful clear night.
Very good.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
You reminded me I got to look at the sky more often. I used to do that quite often, and I haven't done it in a long time. I just live in a place with too many city lights, and it just kills it. I used to live like at the edge of town.
No, it's I know, but hopefully you can look up at the night skies. I mean, even with everything going on in the world, it just brings a bit of solitude, just a bit of alone time.
Yeah.
They're not solar either, the lights.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say it's been an honor and a privilege, and wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day.
You're a good
Thank
Bye.
Thank you for being here.
Happy St. Patrick's, yeah.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, John.
Good morning.
Fast, sleep fast.
I will.
St. Patrick's.
Thank you very
Happy
much.
St. Patrick. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
So where did you go, John? There you are.
I'm still here. Do we have another
Yeah.
volunteer?
Well, I would, before everyone leaves, I'd like us to sing the national anthem, Nation Once Again, where we're talking about the reunification. So at least we'll do the first verse, okay?
Very good.
Want me to start?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
It's called A Nation Once Again. When boyhood's fire was in my blood, I read up ancient freemen for Greece and Rome who bravely stood, 300 men and 3 men. And then I prayed I yet might see our feathers rent in twain, and Ireland long a province be, a nation once again. A nation
Once again, a
nation
nation once again.
and Ireland long and province. Again.
Thank you, Teresa.
Hooray.
Oh,
I knew it was.
good fun.
I know the nation's again worked.
I hope to see that day soon. I've been waiting a long time. England's been kicked out of every other place they have occupied. So why are they still allowed up there? I get so mad when I think about
Well,
it.
there's an opportunity right now. So if we all put our shoulder to it, it might really help move things along. A bunch of Irish organizations got together and ran full page ads in the LA Times and the Washington Post and stuff like that, the big papers. And it's just about calling for Irish unity, because tomorrow on the floor of the House is a bill to protect the U.S. Congress, to protect the Good Friday Agreement, because it's under threat again from Brexit, the Brexiteers. And so America has some power and some influence in that situation, because everybody wants to do trade deals with us. So fortunately, you know, and I've already done that. I've already called my senators and sent them emails and told them to support this bill. It's actually going to be on it's actually on the Senate tomorrow morning.
So is it too late to do something now, or can we still do something tonight?
I'm sure every little bit helps, but the important thing is it's just one little milepost. There's a lot going to be coming down the pike on this subject. So watch this space. I think you get my emails, don't you, Teresa?
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, sometimes I throw in things like that, and keep an eye out for that stuff.
Biden has Irish ancestors, so.
That's right.
He's our most Irish president since JFK.
Wait, can I read a bit of his favorite poem?
Yeah.
Here of Troy. Human beings suffer. They torture one another. They get hurt and get hard. No poem or play or song can fully right a wrong, inflicted and endured. History says don't hope on the side of the grave. But then, once in a lifetime, the longed-for tidal wave of justice can rise up and hope and history rhyme. So hope for a great sea change on the far side of revenge. Believe that the further shore is reachable from here. Believe in miracles and cures and healing wells. Call miracles self-healing, the utter self-revealing, double take of feeling. If there's fire on the mountain and lightning and storm and a God speaks from the sky, that means someone is hearing the outcry and the birth cry of new life at its term. It means once in a lifetime that justice can rise up and hope and history rhyme. Seamus Heaney.
Wow.
That's nice.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Greg. Really enjoyed that.
Wow.
Yep.
Very good.
I'm sorry, who was the poet?
Seamus Heaney.
Thank you.
Who was the poet?
Funny little poetry story in that JFK started the tradition of having a poet at the presidential inauguration, and he had Robert Frost. Remember? And Robert Frost was really old, and he'd written a poem just for that occasion, but it was on this white paper, and it was bright sun, and with the reflection, he couldn't read it. He couldn't read the poem he wrote for the inauguration, so he just recited the road less traveled because it's what he knew. Very good.
I saw Bill Clinton this morning on PBS. He was talking about how he got peace up in Northern Ireland. So he did a lot because they were really out of control up there at the time.
I know that story really well. with Bruce Morrison and things like that. I'll tell it someday. But yeah, I was around back then, actually. Yeah. Jim might remember 1992, the Unity Conference had their convention down in LA, and we had Bruce Morrison as our keynote.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That's when he was Irish for Clinton, was his campaign. And we got.
He spoke at my hotel in Santa Monica that trip.
Oh, good. Yeah. And he.
With Tom Hayden set it up. He lived right up the street.
Yeah. Tom Hayden was a big help, too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. He wrote a great book called Irish on the Inside. I would recommend that to anybody. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. I
so
got an autographed copy of that.
Me too. I got my signed copy from Tom Hayden in Belfast.
Wow.
Even though the whole time I lived in Santa Monica, I never met him, but I had to go over there and he was giving a talk at that festival.
You lived in Santa Monica?
I did a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. At Ocean and Alta, and Tom Hayden lived right up the street.
Yeah.
When back a long time ago, before the peace process started, Tom Hayden had a bunch of us younger guys. We all met at this hotel in Santa Monica, and we all thought he was going to speak to us. But instead, he had us go around in the room, and he had us tell all of our stories. Right, and that's what he was there to listen, not to speak. I thought that was pretty amazing.
Well, John, was that the Sovereign?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That was my hotel.
Were you there at that meeting?
I probably was in and out.
Rodrigo Kennedy, remember?
But he did. Yeah, he was there. They did a lot of meetings there.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember you being there though, but it was later we met when I had the paper.
Right.
So you could have been. I just wouldn't have known you.
Rodrigo Kennedy set that up with the Unity Conference.
Yep.
Back then.
Yeah, that was big. You know, Martin Sheen was big in that too.
Yeah. So, do we have any burning desires?
I needed the website for tomorrow night. You mentioned there was.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, just let me get a pen here.
You want to put it in the chat box?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Well, it.
Actually,
You
I have
go
it.
to harborsideradio.com.
There it is.
Harborsideradio.com.
And spell it the Irish way.
So it's a Marathon Irish Radio.
HARBOUR.
HARBOUR.
So it's
Yeah,
a Marathon
right.
Irish radio show for St. Patrick's Day. Starts at like 4 a.m, right?
Well, it starts at 11 p.m. GMT, you know, Belfast, Dublin, London time.
Around 5 a.m. here.
3
be on-
p.m. PST.
Aren't we going to be on it, Jim? Or you're not sure?
Yeah,
What time will that be at?
3. It starts at 3 California time.
3 a.m. on St. Patrick's morning.
So 3 p.m. tomorrow evening.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and then because they're ahead of us.
Oh,
And
I
then
thought
it'll
it
be rebroadcast on Patty's Day itself, but I do not know the time.
okay.
So can you
Yeah.
repeat that again now that I have the pen? Harbor.
Yeah, it's www.harborsideradio.com.
Got it.
They want to put some or all of our poems on their show. We don't know what they're going to do with it yet.
Great. All right. Sláinte, everyone.
Hey, one more thing. Right before this meeting, I was at the Ventura City Council. They put me on the panel, and we got through a Irish Heritage Month proclamation. One of the
Oh,
city
that's nice.
councilmen, his mother's McGarry, Irish mother, so he co-sponsored it with me, and so if you go to the Ventura City Council, I'm writing like the first 10 minutes, so you don't have to sit through the whole meeting. At the beginning of public comments, it's me and Joe Schroeder, if you wanted to do that. We got Leslie, you should do something like that for.
That's just what I was gonna say in my comments. I'm on city council in Santa Paula, so I wasn't on it to get a resolution, but I will in my comments recognize the Irish American Heritage Month for sure.
Very good. So
Absolutely.
second our
Yeah,
resolution. Yeah.
absolutely.
Very good, everybody. Well, thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks for
Thank you
inviting
so
me.
much for
Thanks for
doing this. This was
letting me in.
wonderful.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
Greg, that was really.
Slán leat
everybody.
agus
Great evening.
skinner the war leat. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back, and may you be in heaven a half an hour before the devil knows you're dead. Sláinte.
Sláinte. Amen.
Wonderful.
Fun, fun,
August
fun,
Benoit.
everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Hey, Greg, what was that? What was that poem again? The last poem you did?
The Kira Troy by Seamus Heaney.
God, how do you spell that?
Which one? The surname or the
Last one,
Cure?
the last-
The Cure at Troy, like the Trojan War,
Oh, God.
Seamus Heaney, his surname is spelled Heaney. First name Seamus.
Yeah.
Probably his most famous poem, so you'll find it easy.
It's easy to find.
Wait, how do you spell the poem? That's what I don't get.
The Cure, like cure for
Ure, Ure.
Oh.
common cold.
C-U-R-E, oh, okay.
Cure, but it's Cure at Troy.
Of Troy, okay.
Troy, like the Iliad.
Yep.
The word T-H-E,
That's grand.
then cure, C-U-R-E, and then of Troy, like T-R-O-Y.
That's right.